Hello, Tim from Fairplay Now on the 18th of July 2023. This is coming out a bit later than normal. Sorry about that, but I've been busy doing other things and just making the video now. But as I got home, I saw an interesting article. Funnily enough, it comes from The Guardian. Now, I don't read these mainstream newspapers. I kind of get these articles through like a intermediate kind of curation service, so it's not like I go out and buy these mainstream things and read them all the way through. But surprisingly, The Guardian recently, in the last day or two, has been taking a somewhat anti-lockdown stance, if you believe. They have an article saying that 28,000 people have so far been convicted of lockdown breachings of the lockdown regulations, and these kind of prosecutions and convictions are continuing. And they were saying it's a bit ridiculous that it's still going on now, that these convictions are still being pursued now. But yeah, apparently 28,000 people have been convicted so far, with kind of an average fine of £6,000 apparently, with some of them going up to £10,000. So that's kind of interesting that sort of stance is coming from The Guardian, but that's not really what I'm coming at this, the direction I'm coming at this from. What I would suggest is we really need to start arming ourselves with knowledge now to protect ourselves from this kind of nonsense, if it ever comes back in the future, which it may well do. Really, what these people who are facing these convictions should be doing is looking for sort of methods of defence which they can basically sort of take these fines and these convictions and get them thrown out of court. And I believe there's quite a lot of ways that can be done. Quite a few people have been successful in getting off these kinds of convictions. Probably the people who are getting these convictions and paying the fines probably aren't in the freedom movement. They're probably people who are basically on board with the whole lurgy thing and lockdowns, but just so happen to breach the regulations here and there, as I'm sure probably 99% of the population did at some point. But really, if you find yourself, I don't know if you are in this situation or you know anyone else who's in this situation, but there are defences out there that can be, done in court, etc., which can get you off these things. So I believe, I've been led to believe this in my travels, my research into these kinds of things. And one such defence, which I believe has worked, not necessarily in this country, but I know it's definitely worked in a place in Canada and a few other places around the world, and that is to simply ask the prosecuting authority, whoever they might be, the local police or the sort of local council who sent the police out to you or whatever it is, just ask them, well, okay, if you're convicting me for breaching lockdown rules, the first thing you need to do is give me evidence of the lurgy in an isolated form. Just prove to me that there is evidence out there that the lurgy has been isolated, which apparently is the first thing you have to do before declaring a health emergency, B, before sort of coming up with tests, and C, before coming up with anything that goes into there. And apparently, according to some of the research I've done, is this has never been done with the lurgy. And some people would suggest, and we're talking about not just cranks, but we're talking about some pretty heavyweight, seriously high qualified, intelligent people, who know about this kind of thing, they're saying that no lurgy has ever been isolated. Now, if you're a bit new to this channel, when I say lurgy, I'm literally talking about the things that start with V, the little sort of bug things that you inhale and then you end up getting a cold from it, or something worse, some other lurgy. But my term lurgy is a bit interchangeable. It sort of stands for that thing that starts with V. It also stands for the disease, that starts with C, that came around at the end of 2019, which that number is part of the name. So, but I've got to be a bit cagey for sort of censorship reasons. Not that I should have to be. That's all part of the what I'd say is the con, really. Why should people be censored for sort of speaking their minds and telling the truth? But hey ho, that's the world we live in, isn't it? But yeah, going back to what I was saying is, if you go to court and you tell them, well, where's the isolated? Of course, they can't provide it because from what I understand, it has never actually been isolated. Well, then there's no case to answer, because if there's no lurgy proven to exist, then we shouldn't have been having lockdowns in the first place, and therefore breaching lockdown rules is a non-starter. So and also it's a whole avenue. The powers that shouldn't be in their courts just do not want to go down anyway. They'd just rather drop your case rather than having to answer those sort of awkward questions. So I believe that is one form of defence that can be taken. Now, I don't know that 100% for certain. I think I've heard that, I'm pretty sure I've heard that it has worked in some places. But there is... The whole reason I'm talking about this is there is a resource I've got for you, which I think you're going to find extremely entertaining, interesting and educational. It's something called The End of the Lurgy. Well, the end of, and then the thing that starts with a C and ends with 19. That's what it's really called. But yeah, The End of the Lurgy, which is a whole raft of videos and other resources, which goes into how everything that's happened in the last 3 and a bit years has basically just been a con. They go into the reasons why they think that in endless detail. There's a massive amount of videos to be watched. I believe somewhere up to 100 hours of videos, believe it or not. Even the intro videos right at the start of the this resource thing, the intro videos go on for about 4 hours. There's 2 of them, but you don't have to watch it all. Just sort of treat it like a pick and mix. Just pick out the videos that look interesting to you and watch those, which is what I've been doing. Now, I will leave a link to this thing, The End of C, in the description box below, so you can go and check it out. You do have to give them your email, so you might not want to give them your primary one if you're a bit kind of sensitive about these things. I know a lot of people are, but I've done it, and they send you an email every day, but it just basically tells you, we've got the latest sort of thing for you to watch out now, sort of thing. So it's not like they're bombarding you every 5 seconds, and really you have to give them that, and I haven't found too much problem with giving my email address to them. And after the August the 1st, you do have to pay. There is a payment involved, but if you kind of sign up for it now, it's free, and you don't have to give them any more details than, like I say, just your first name and your email address. You don't have to give them anything else than that, and you get access to it for free until the end of this month. So that's still a couple of weeks for you to look at these videos, and after August the 1st, if you decide you still want to keep watching them, there is some payment involved. Don't know how much. I haven't looked into that. I've got no idea what kind of payment it would be. I'm probably not going to do it myself, to be fair. I've been looking at these videos myself for the last sort of few days now, and I'll probably learn enough from it in the free trial period. There is a couple of other things they go on about which ends up involving a payment as well. There's a kind of, I think it's like a common law training course they've got, which is supposed to protect you from anything like these lurgy fines, etc., etc. There's some intro videos about that. The actual course is quite pricey, a few £100, I believe, but it's something I may do myself. I don't know. I'd have to look into it way more before sort of fronting up that kind of cash, but I'm going to go into some more of the intro videos which are free to watch about it. So far it looks reasonably good, but this kind of common law course, but I'll need a lot more convincing before I do it, and I wouldn't suggest you do it unless maybe you're facing a £10,000 lurgy fine, in which case you might find it worthwhile fronting up a few £100 to get the knowledge to combat that and get yourself off it, which I believe some people have done with this kind of thing. But anyway, I've sort of been going on about this way too long, really. I'll leave a link to it in the description box below. The End of C. And so far, I've found it really, really interesting, really, really educational, and like I say, some of the bits in it will have you questioning whether lurgies actually exist at all. I know a lot of viewers already think that or know it, but a lot won't, and you might think it's totally crackpot, but these guys, like I say, are seriously qualified. We're talking about professors and doctors who have been looking into this kind of thing for years and years and years, and they seem to present a very good case, a very good argument as to why we should be sceptical about the very existence of these things. So with that kind of little teaser for you, kind of curiosity teaser for you, I'll let you go and check that whole thing out, and I'll be back tomorrow. Tim from Fair Play Now, thanks for watching.